Hi all and welcome back to the channel. Now I have a question for you first of all. What do the Eagles, David Bowie, Billy Joel and Paul McCartney have in common? Well, the answer is simply I managed to get to see all of those acts back in the day, decent seats, and all for around, I think, maybe 90 to £100, whatever that is in dollars. So you can probably see where this is heading. I don't normally have a rant like this, but circumstances that have arisen, shall we say, that I'm afraid I just have to, say my piece on it, really. So, as we all know, Oasis have decided to get back together, a reunion tour, which is taking place next summer. And of course, servers have been crashed all over the world because of the demand to see the two brothers back together for the first time in a long time. Now, I don't, happen to be a massive Oasis fan. I like some of their things, so it doesn't really, it's not applicable to me to go onto the website and try and get, these tickets. However, if you do manage to get a ticket, some of the cheapest ones I've noticed that people have had, or at least, people I've heard of, are somewhere between £499 to, believe it or not, £5,000. Can you believe it? Now, if I'm going to pay something like £5,000 or £6,000 or however much that is in dollars to see somebody on stage, they better be somebody, number one, who's famous, who's dead, and will be resurrected on that stage when I go and see them and pay that money, that top dollar, to see that. So, this is insanity, isn't it? I was just researching today about Elvis Presley. Now, in 74, if you wanted to go and see him, apparently, in Vegas, you'd pay $15 a ticket to see him. Okay, and, don't get me wrong, that was back in 74, and it was probably quite a lot of money, I suspect. But the equivalent today would be something like $99. Okay, $99. Wow, to see the legend himself. However, Elvis would have unfortunately been contracted by, I'm not even going to mention the name, but I think we all know who we're talking about here. Cha-ching! The moneymakers. The people who sell you the ticket to go and see the act. And those prices are what you're going to pay, or you don't get to see the act. Now, Elvis had his own so-called Memphis Mafia. There seems to be some other operation or organization involved, it seems to me, these days, who want you to pay your tribute, to the Don before you get to see the act. So, yeah. So, you're talking insane prices. It's got out of control, really, hasn't it? I mean, I was lucky enough, or well, I think I was, you might disagree, to see Kiss in 2023. And okay, whatever about the Paul and backing vote tracks and all of this business, whatever. It was good. At the end of the day, okay, I paid £100, and I had a decent enough seat. I was in Birmingham. I was on row 16. And to be fair, it's not a bad view from where I was sat. You get to see the stage and you get a decent view, actually. And for £100, regardless of whether Paul's lip syncing or not, I don't care really, to be honest. That show was spectacular. There's no two ways about it, you know. Okay, some people may say, oh, if you go and see Kiss these days, you're just paying to see a circus act. Well, do you know what? It was a hell of a circus act, and I enjoyed it. It was brilliant. So my £100 was well spent, in my opinion. So going back, as I say, to this insanity in ticket prices, unfortunately, we're seeing this everywhere now. It seems to me that corporate, the man, as he would have been known, or it would have been known, has once again taken the pure delight of being able to see live music by a big name out of the hands of the I mean, I sound like a complete, you know, as if I'm on the socialist worker branch here, but seriously, it's corporate has taken the simple enjoyment of watching a live act, and a big name live act, you know, out of the hands of the ordinary folk, you know, the ordinary average day, you know, working Joe, so to speak. And they have basically aimed that market at the people with the money, the people who are in those super high echelon jobs, the corporations who buy the tickets to impress their business associates, and they end up in one of those fancy booths with, you know, the booze and the food and all that jazz. You see it everywhere. You see it at Glastonbury. You see it at every flipping festival now. You know, you want to go to a festival. Imagine that, you know, as a young person, you want to go to a festival, say Glastonbury or whatever, and you've got to spend an absolute ton of money to these organisations just to get in the gate. You know, it's insane. What has happened to the simple joy of being able to go and watch a band, able to go and enjoy a festival without having to be, in my opinion, ripped off? Because you're being ripped off. Let's face it. It isn't about the music or the enjoyment anymore. It's about the pound. It's about the dollar. It's about the ka-ching factor, isn't it? You know? I mean, you see it in any event now. And the crazy one I absolutely hate is you always see those tiers of tickets, and one of them is VIP. VIP. With your own little cordoned off area and your own portaloo. You know, it's a load of BS, in my opinion, and I absolutely hate it. I mean, I don't want to just blanket, you know, tar everyone with the same brush, but it seems to me these sort of events now, like the festivals, all seem to be aimed at the, and again, I am not saying this is everybody, but it seems to attract, shall I say, rather, the casual listener to some of these groups, for argument's sake. You know, they're usually the people who turn up in the latest trend, which is the VW transporter or camper or whatever. You know, the same crew seem to go camping with obviously those amazing like £2,000 tents now. You know, a far cry from what we were used to in camping. Something else corporate have taken over again. Surprise, surprise. You know, there always seem to be those sort of groups that can go to these things. You know, they're going, I don't know, windsurfing on a Saturday, and you know, doing yoga in the week and all that jazz. But anyway, so I am having a moan about it. I'm sorry, but it just gets on my nerves a bit. You know, it always seems to be, you know, the fans, well, fair weather fans, shall we say? You know, and it's all down to, again, these corporations selling the tickets, trying to screw as much money out of you as they possibly can, and you know, if they can aim that money and it will, you know, to get the most expensive, I don't know, what am I saying? You know, ultimately, they like to throw that money. They would like to get as much money as they possibly can for you to see these groups. And it is, and unfortunately, because of the prices, it does, again, it just brings in the people who can enjoy it. You know, it's become a situation where if you want to enjoy a group now, okay, you have got to be in that tier of society to be able to afford to enjoy to see a group. You know, long gone are the days of seeing, you know, uh, you know, groups for, I don't know, a reasonable amount of money. Um, it just cannot be done anymore. Wherever there is a way to, you know, bring the cash cow out, it's done. So, you know, at one point it used to be merchandise, didn't it? You know, the merchandise would be extortionate. You know, t-shirts are about 50 quid, you know. But now, you know, I can forgive the t-shirt brigade for that, the merchandising. I can forgive it because ultimately the ticket prices and the people who sell the tickets are the ones who are really taking the you know what, because they really are. To ask me to pay £5 to see a ticket, that's BS, guys. I am not going to do it. And as I said, if you want me to pay that money, that person better be good. They better be a legend. They may have to be deceased because I'm expecting you are going to resurrect them. I'll pay $5,000 for that. Yeah, I will. £5,000, dollars, whatever. I'll pay it to see that. But I'm not paying it just to see a group. And that's the end of it. So anyway, my apologies for this rather insane rant. But, you know, anyway, just to say, if you manage to get Oasis tickets, if you already have, and you've got them at a good price, I really hope you have, guys, then good for you. If you just, you know, I don't know, just enjoy it anyway. Enjoy the show next year, whatever. But yeah, we got to get these monopolizing ticket companies have got to have some competition. It's about time because a certain company just has way too much control over ticket prices, ticket distribution, and there ain't no safeguards about reselling either. You know, something has got to be done and something's got to give. Anyway, thanks for watching for this rant. I'll see you soon, I hope, and bless you all. Bye.